Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us as we continue, of course, to bring you rolling coverage of what's coming out of the ANC's National Elective Conference. We bring you back here to studio as we talk about former President Jacob Zuma, who's been given until today to withdraw private prosecution against President Ramaphosa. The prosecution relates to his case involving Advocate Billy Downer, who he accuses of breaching the provisions of the NPA Act. Now, Downer is the head prosecutor in the Zuma and French company Thales' arms deal trial. Joining us now for some reaction, Mzwanele Manyi, Jacob Zuma Foundation spokesperson, who will also give us a reaction to the ANC's newly elected top 7 office bearers. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Hi, Dempo, and good afternoon to your viewers.
I can see you laughing. Are you laughing to the reaction on the ANC's top 7? Because, yes, we would like reaction. What do you make of it?
I was actually sleeping the whole day. I didn't even hear. So I'm only going to go through TV and check what happened. I didn't see anything. What happened?
Okay. You'll soon find out.
Okay.
But let's go back to the crux. President Ramaphosa has rejected the charges by former President Jacob Zuma, calling them completely spurious and unfounded. In fact, he's even said that by the end of today, a withdrawal needs to happen. So how far is that process?
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. A couple of things. One, just so it's very crystal clear, there's going to be no withdrawal. Let that be very clear in anybody's mind. There's going to be no withdrawal. The 19th January 2023 is the date agreed to by the court process. So on the 19th of January 2023, President Ramaphosa is expected to be in court in person at 9:30. A judge will be there wearing a red gown because this is a criminal proceedings. This is going to happen. This whole PR exercise that he's doing has got no legal effect whatsoever. So there's absolutely nothing that turns on all these threats that he keeps making. The point of the matter is that he is a criminally charged person as we speak. He's got a criminal case to face up to. If he's got issues about whether this is strong or weak or whatever, that's his prerogative to judge on that. But the case, he must argue it in court. So that's where things are. Court case is open.
And in weighing in, I mean, various legal experts have spoken about this. In fact, one was saying that the lawyer who drafted these charges shouldn't be allowed to practice, saying there is no legal substance, it holds no water. What do you make on that? What are you basing it on?
You must go and make that argument in court. I think the important thing here is what the highest court of the land has said on these kinds of articulations by your so-called experts and also the state attorneys. I think the state attorneys have actually misguided President Ramaphosa. They have said he must ignore this summons probably because they were also advised by your so-called legal experts. But let me just read just a quick sentence or two that has been put here by Judge Madlanga from the Constitutional Court. This is what he says. There is something they call here the eau de Graal rule. And I quote, the eau de Graal rule itself informed by the rule of law. Imagine the specter of organs of state and private persons ignoring or give heed to administrative action based on their view of its validity. Then they underline this. The administrative and legal chaos that would ensue from that state of affairs is unthinkable. Indeed, chaos and not law would rule. This is what the highest court of the land has said. So basically, what this says is that it can't be up to you and I, to decide whether something is valid or not. It can't be up to President Ramaphosa and his myriad of advisors to decide if a thing is lawful or not. The only place to deal with that is in the court of law. It could be anarchy. I mean, those state advisors, those state attorneys are actually advocating for anarchy. This is what they want. They want lawlessness. So we're not going to allow lawlessness. So if they've got issues with whatever things they have, they can address those in court. The lawyers have written to our lawyers and they've raised all kinds of frivolities. There are two main frivolities that they've raised. The one, they want to argue that we should not have served the summons at a home address. That's the one frivolous thing they are objecting to. Should not have served this. Yet this is a criminal case. You know, when you are being pursued on a criminal case, your office doesn't hold. It's you that holds wherever you are found. But we decided that they were not going to entertain the sideshow. So we said to them, they've been written to say to them, give us the address or something that you want this thing served, if this is your issue. Then the other issue they raised is, okay, no, that no prosecution certificate does not have this or the other. There's this one. Where's the other one? So we're going to give them two no prosecution certificate. There's one that was issued in June, which they already have. So they want the other one. The other one was issued on the 21st of November. So those two will give them. And all of these we're doing just to make sure that we don't get stuck in sideshows.
We look with reading, I'm looking here at constitutional law professor Richard Calland, who said that the fundamental point around this is that the so-called charges in the private prosecution disclose no criminal offense, and so the summons is invalid, and that it should be struck down as soon as the president can get before the court. So also looking at, listening to this statement and the repercussions that could follow, there's been warnings that former President Jacob Zuma could be slapped with a financial penalty if he proceeds with the attempt to privately prosecute. I mean, is that not concerning?
I'm glad that Richard Calland was kicked out of being in the panel of judges to judge President Ramaphosa on that Section 89 process, because the man lives in the veins of President Ramaphosa. There's absolutely nothing wrong that Ramaphosa can do in the eyes of Calland. So from where I sit, whatever Calland says about Ramaphosa really doesn't count. What counts is the law. The law has been stated. President Ramaphosa is facing two charges, two counts. The one count, in terms of the NPA Act, Section 41, Subsection 6, read with Subsection 7, that has to do with publishing of of information without the permission of the National Director of Public Prosecution. That's the one case. But that case, the perpetrator in that case is Billy Downer. The accomplice in this case is Karen Mon. And then weeks later, he comes in as an accessory after the fact, because all of this was reported to him and he didn't do anything about that, other than just telling Lamula. And beyond that, he just forgot about it. So you are guilty by two things, either commission or omission. In this case, he's guilty by omission. And if he's got a case to argue, no problem, must argue in court. And secondly, the alternative count is defeating the ends of justice. This is all in the indictment. This is a serious thing. In the original count, on count 1, anybody found on that count can go to jail for 15 years. This is what the law says. Now, to get a Calland or any other so-called expert to say this is not criminal, then I think they must go back to school.
What about the timing of this? I mean, those watching from the outside are saying that it's well-timed, very strategic, on the eve of the voting of the top 7. Was it to ensure that Ramaphosa was ineligible to stand for re-election at conference? I mean, is there significance to the timing? Was it well-timed and thought?
Okay, let's start here. When would have been the right timing, for instance? Tell me.
I'm not sure.
Okay, here we go. You see, when it comes to President Ramaphosa, South Africa, media, all of you don't want to hold the man accountable. 1st of June this year, Arthur Fraser came up with a whole range of charges, impeachable charges about Ramaphosa. They range from him flouting Reserve Bank regulations, foreign exchange regulations, tax evasion, money laundering, kidnapping, you name it. The whole book is there. And this was in June. And then even then we were told, no, it's because the conference is coming. In this case, the people that hold the key as to when things should happen is not even His Excellency President Zuma. The people that hold the key is the NPA. The NPA only gave this certificate on the 21st of November, 2022. It's about 3 weeks ago. And in fact, this certificate, when you get given this certificate, this certificate, you don't have it forever. It's got a time-limited period, about 3 months or so. And we've got holidays and all of these things in between. So if you don't use it, You don't what is the term? You don't use, you lose. That's exactly what would happen. If you don't use it, you lose it. So we had to make sure that it's executed. I mean, when else could it have been done if it was received on the 21st of November?
And
lastly,
if you'll allow me, Mr. Manyi, we're out of time, but
okay.
I want to ask you this.
Okay.
Have you communicated in writing to President Ramaphosa that you will not be withdrawing with the deadline that he set for today?
I'm sure the lawyers are talking to each other. I'm sure they would have told them. They're busy with correspondence. But there's no legal effect to this thing. This is just for you guys in the media, for PR. There's absolutely no legal effect. President Zuma is going to sleep in his house today. Nothing is going to happen. The sky is not going to fall. This is just a PR exercise, just so that you guys, you can think Ramaphosa is still on top of the tables. He's still in charge. No, he is facing a criminal case. This is what it is. He's an accused in a criminal case. He is charged. A judge is waiting for him on the 9th of January. That's the situation we have.
Okay, let's leave it there for now. Thank you so much for coming and speaking to us in studio there. Mzwanele Manyi, who speaks for the Jacob Zuma Foundation, talking, of course, about the viewpoint when it comes to President Ramaphosa asking former President Jacob Zuma to withdraw those summons, of course, when it comes to the private prosecution.